My name is Keikoa Sugioka, and this is how I lost 135 pounds in 1 year. Throughout my journey, I was able to, number one, increase my self-confidence, number two, my mental capacity, and number three, be more positive towards myself. This is the story of my rise to excellence and my commitment to greatness. This is my mom. She's the one that's always pushing me to try new things because she believes in me, and I appreciate all the support and love that she's given me over the years that really shaped who I am today. This is my father. He's always been there for me, and he continuously shows me how having a good work ethic can get you far in life and what it truly means to be a man for his family. This is my brother Kaleola Imana. He's the one that pushes me every day to be the best version of myself. He's done everything with me through thick and thin, and I appreciate him. And last but not least, these are my two beautiful sisters, Kaimela Minnie and Tialani Ray Lynn. Kaimela is the one with the glasses, and Tialani is the one in the hot pink, really close to me. The reason why I work so hard is because I want to provide the best example for my younger siblings, and I feel like I'm doing that through my work and through my workouts. Aside from family, football was one of my first loves and was something that I was really passionate about early on, especially in high school. My mother really pushed me to try new things because before I only played basketball, but once I started playing and I got good at it, I really started to enjoy it and I kind of committed myself to it, and this was the only thing I really liked to do for a long time, and I really enjoyed it. All the hot summers, the daily doubles, the conditioning really helped me to understand that one really needs to be mentally tough in the face of adversity. And football is much like life in that way, is where not everything will go your way, so you must have that next play mentality and keep moving forward through the mistakes and the accomplishments for the good of the team and for your family. This was one of my favorite pictures from that era because this is the snapshot right before we won our first home playoff game on the turf field when we first got it. And this was basically described as poetry in motion. All the chaos and confusion when the ball was kicked, and the jubilation when the ball went through the uprights. To further illustrate that this photo was poetry in motion is all the chaos that's going on at the line of scrimmage, the linemen trying to bound over our offensive lineman number 59, which is Colin McCoy, one of my great friends, and myself even laying on some poor soul at the line of scrimmage. My favorite moment by far in my varsity football career was lining up with my brother against the Dallas Dragons. This was the first time I was able to line up on the varsity team with my brother on the same side, and we both went to attack the quarterback.
Yeah, that's the style, bro.
The January after graduation is when I first started my weight loss journey. This is when I had a membership to the Y and I started to go almost every day after class when I was attending Lynn Benton Community College. The day I started my 100-pound weight loss was January 16th, 2019. I thought this goal was almost impossible because at this point in my life I was over 300 pounds for the majority of my teenage life, so it seemed impossible at the beginning. I also had really low self-confidence due to the fact that I was big for so long, so I think that was another factor that was also holding me back from my true goals in life. I believe the most challenging part of my weight loss journey was in the beginning because I was not aware of some of the things that could have helped me early on as far as like eating habits, a workout routine, a regimen, and staying consistent. I really just started walking, to be honest. I used to run at the local middle school at night in the dark, pitch black with a flashlight because I was kind of embarrassed to run in front of people. It also didn't help that I was very self-conscious because I was aware that I was larger than the majority of my peers and people in general. Especially at the gym, I ran into some people that were really negative towards, like, big guys trying to make a change, and they'd always kind of make fun of me, like, oh, you probably can't change and all that. Thankfully, I was stubborn enough not to listen to them because I really wanted the change for myself. And over a long period of time, I started to finally see change in my physique, and it really gave me more confidence to keep going, even when people said I couldn't. I think what really helped me persevere through all the adversity is my mom's teaching on if you start something, you have to finish it. So I was stubborn enough to keep going because I did not feel like quitting. Exactly a year from starting on January 16th, 2020, I had lost the original weight that I wanted to lose of 100 pounds and I exceeded it by 35 pounds. And it's evident to see on the screen that I did a lot of work, but I did lose a lot of muscle mass in the process. After my initial weight loss in the first year, I was able to do a lot more and increase my work capacity enough to do a lot more things that I enjoyed, especially hiking. And this was on our Yellowstone slash Glacier Park trip with Lalo and Preston. And this was the Highland Trail, which was basically on the side of a cliff where there's only one little bar, which was a hose in between like metal rings, and then on to the left of the screen is a straight drop all the way down to the road, which you can see in some of the parts of the video, which was kind of scary because it was super high up. I don't know how high it was. It was basically like a cliff face, and the narrow path was filled with a lot of different hikers going both directions. So we had to take turns, kind of thinking skinny and hugging the wall, just so we don't fall over. But it was a very awesome experience to be able to go multiple miles and take in the scenery, which I wasn't able to do before losing all the weight, and I felt a lot more freer. Towards the end of the clip, I kind of got a little bit scared and started hugging the wall a little bit, grabbing onto the railing because it kind of slipped. It didn't help that there was loose gravel and I wasn't looking down at my feet because I was trying to record where I was going. Continuing with my fitness journey, this is one of the first times I hit 405, 4 sets of 4. So that means 4 sets of 4 reps. And it really took me a long time to get back to this position because I lost a lot of my technique and strength initially cutting weight. So this is a big accomplishment for me coming from where I started. So I'm very proud of myself for the progress I've made so far. This video was also before I cut my hair for Easter, and it came to a big surprise for my family because I was growing it out for 6 years. Here's one of the numerous ways I looked into bettering myself towards my technique because if one has good technique, then one can lift a lot more and has the capacity to lift more because of the good technique they have, and it also helps prevent injury, especially when you get to the upper levels of lifting where you're lifting upwards of 400, 500, 600 pounds in some cases, which is not me right now, but I plan to get up to that level. So good technique is quintessential for moving on from the plateau that I've currently hit just because I'm finally at an optimal weight for myself. In this clip here, you can see my practice at work. So I'm practicing at a lighter weight, about 225 pounds, and I'm making sure I achieve depth whenever I squat down. So the old saying when I first was learning how to squat was ass to the grass, making sure I maintain a straight back and my chest forward, usually with looking up. Right here, I'm really satisfied with my form. I'm very stable and I'm very balanced. As opposed to when I was younger, I would just go gun ho and not really any technique in mind, just lifting the bar. In this set, I upped my weight to about 350 pounds and put on a belt for support. Squatting heavier weights tends to force people to abandon form and technique and just go for it, but I wanted to make sure I was getting depth and staying stable, so I went a little bit lower on the weight and higher on the reps. It's important to note that not every day should be a heavy day because you need to allow your body to recover and become stronger the next day. So if you work 100% capacity every day, it's hard for you to grow. Here you can see my face change on the last rep of the set, and it's because I was digging. I was really tired at the time. As much as I don't like running, there's a quote by the famous Mike Tyson. Do what you hate like you love it, because that is what builds discipline in everything you do throughout life. It is a very valuable lesson to learn. Once I was able to understand this, it made everything I did a lot easier to do because I knew at least one day I would reach my goals no matter what, even if I wanted to give up. In the beginning, I only could run short distances for a short amount of time, but as time went on, I slowly but surely increased that distance, and I increased my average up to about 3 miles in this year. As long as you're persistent and you stay consistent, you'll see improvement over time. I am grateful to have friends that are like minded and have a sense of direction in life. One of these friends is Seth Collison. He has gone through an amazing transformation himself, and we plan on the best versions of ourselves at all times.
Hey guys, it's Kiko Sugioka. I just wanted to say I really wanted to make this video for all the people out there that think that it's impossible to really change, and just to give them an opportunity to see that, it's possible to lose 100 pounds, and it's possible to start from one place in your life to where you think that you can't really do anything, you feel stuck, to going through adversity and then coming out on the other side of the tunnel, uh, into the light. And over the course of my journey, I've really noticed that it's important to have a healthy mind. Once your mental health is uh, intact, once you go through and dump all the baggage and start seeing yourself as somebody worth giving a damn about, um, only positive things can come from that. And I encourage everybody out there that was in my position, or maybe even on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you're really light and trying to get healthy as well, um, it's worth fighting for, and it's worth all the pain and the grief. Trust me, like, I feel 100% better. I Every day I enjoy, this body, this new body. And my knees don't hurt anymore. I enjoy, I feel more confident in myself. I fit in a lot more clothes. Like, one big thing was I couldn't, like, just go into any store and, like, oh, I really want this shirt, or I'll go to like Nike and I'm like be disappointed, because at one point I was like almost 400 pounds. My heaviest weight was 386 pounds. So and that was in high school. I was like 16 years old, and I was pushing on the upper ends of like a size 3X shirt, so a 3XL shirt. I almost had 4X's, so that would have been even more discouraging going into stores trying to find new clothes. But you know what I what I made a point to do is to try to get myself out of the scarcity mindset and into more of the abundance mindset. So instead of like seeing the glass as half empty, you see it as half full. Instead of seeing adversity as a problem, you see adversity as something to grow, something to improve yourself, and to better yourself. And it really does make you stronger if you can persevere and get through those things. Even if in the back of your mind, uh, you're telling yourself, I can't do this, or that little voice in your head that's like, I'm not sure, I'm very uncertain about something. Like, sometimes you just can't listen to yourself. Like, that was one of the biggest things for me. I held myself back. But um, what I noticed is, if you just do something, like, I'm an overthinker. If you just go and do what you want to do and what you think is right, 9 times out of 10, unless it's coming from a bad place, it will be positive, and you will only get a positive outcome. So I encourage anybody that watches this video to, number one, reflect on what's like in your life that you really want to improve on, if you're at that place, you know, and then start with small things. That's the one thing that I think really gets people out of the mindset of changing big for big changes. Uh, they try to go all at once, and it does not work like that, at least for me. I always needed to implement small little things periodically over time. Like, every week I'd be like, hey, instead of eating a whole pack of a whole cereal box like I used to, I'd only eat like one bowl, or like two bowls instead of three bowls. And then over time, you subtract that. You're like, okay, I'll eat one less bowl in a couple months, and then you get used to that. And then by the time you know it, when you look up and you realize, like, oh, hey, I don't really need as much as I thought I needed. So it's all it's like life. It's all like, you try shit, it doesn't work. You have to switch it up. You try shit, it doesn't work. And then, that third thing might be the thing. But if you give up, then you can't really give up. Life doesn't wait for you to grieve. Life doesn't wait for you to do anything. So you just got to keep moving forward through your mistakes. And as long as you have that kind of mindset, like I said in the video, the next play mindset, um, only good things can happen. So I guess closing words: love yourself, believe in yourself, and find yourself some people that are there either on the same page as you or really support you, because that is crucial. That was crucial for me in my changes. I had an amazing network of, like, my family members and friends that really pushed me towards my goal, and I'm happy and grateful for it. So thank you guys. See you next time.